Deep within the Amazon rainforest, where ancient spirits still whisper through the canopy, lies evidence of encounters that challenge everything science believes about reality. The Tupi people spoke of Guaracy, the sun god, whose divine presence could manifest in ways that defied natural law. What investigators discovered in the remote territories of Brazil suggests their warnings should have been heeded. Before we uncover the truth, subscribe for more disturbing findings. It was March 15, 2019, during the scorching afternoon heat in the Tapajós National Forest of Brazil. The research station sat isolated among towering cicropia trees, approximately 200 kilometers southeast of Santarém, where the muddy waters of the Tapajós River carved through endless green wilderness. Dr. Helena Carvalho, a cultural anthropologist from the University of São Paulo, had established the Tempro Field Station to document the oral traditions of the remaining Tupi communities. Her team of 4 researchers had been working for 6 weeks, recording testimonies about Guaracy, the solar deity whose worship predated European colonization by centuries. The indigenous elders spoke of Guaracy with reverence mixed with unmistakable fear. According to their accounts, the sun god possessed the ability to descend from the heavens and walk among mortals, bringing either life-giving warmth or devastating solar fire. What distinguished these testimonies from typical folklore was their consistency across isolated communities that had maintained no contact with each other for generations. Maria Santos, a 67-year-old Tupi medicine woman, provided the most detailed description of Guaracy's earthly manifestation. She described an entity standing nearly 3 meters tall, with skin that seemed to contain molten gold beneath its surface. The being moved with fluid grace, leaving no footprints on the forest floor, while its presence caused the surrounding vegetation to shimmer and bend as if viewed through superheated air. The research team initially dismissed these accounts as symbolic representations of solar worship until they discovered the clearings. These perfectly circular patches of barren earth, each measuring exactly 47 meters in diameter, appeared throughout the forest with mathematical precision. Soil analysis revealed temperatures had reached over 2,000 degrees Celsius, yet the surrounding vegetation showed no signs of fire damage. Dr. Carvalho's colleague, botanist Dr. Ricardo Mendes, documented another disturbing phenomenon within these clearings. The trees at the perimeter displayed growth patterns that violated basic principles of plant biology. Their branches curved inward toward the center of each circle, forming intricate spirals that seemed to follow some unknown geometric law. On the morning of March 28th, the team's equipment began registering anomalous reading. Their electromagnetic field detectors, designed to measure atmospheric conditions, suddenly spiked to maximum levels despite clear skies and normal weather patterns. The temperature sensors recorded impossible fluctuations, jumping from 32 degrees Celsius to over 100 degrees within seconds, then returning to normal just as quickly. Indigenous guide Paulo Zingu, a 34-year-old Tupi man hired to assist the expedition, became increasingly agitated as the readings continued. He insisted the team should abandon their research immediately, claiming that Guaracy was awakening from his seasonal slumber. His warnings carried the weight of ancestral knowledge passed down through countless generations. The situation escalated dramatically when the team discovered fresh carvings on the trees surrounding their camp. These symbols, etched into the bark with surgical precision, depicted solar discs surrounded by humanoid figures in apparent worship or supplication. The carvings appeared overnight, yet none of the researchers had heard any sounds of cutting or scraping. Dr. Carvalho photographed the symbols extensively, noting their resemblance to pre-Columbian petroglyphs found throughout South America. However, these new carvings possessed an unsettling quality that distinguished them from ancient artwork. The lines seemed to pulse with their own inner light when viewed through certain camera filters, suggesting some form of bioluminescent material had been embedded within the wood. The most disturbing discovery came when they analyzed the photographs back at the station. The digital images revealed additional symbols that were completely invisible to the naked eye, forming complex patterns that seemed to shift and change between consecutive shots. These phantom markings appeared to be warnings, according to Paulo's increasingly frantic translation. As the investigation continued, the team began experiencing shared hallucinations that defied logical explanation. Multiple researchers reported seeing a towering figure moving through the forest canopy, its form blazing with internal fire, yet casting no shadows on the ground below. The entity appeared to observe their activities from a distance, neither approaching nor retreating, simply watching with what could only be described as ancient intelligence. Dr. Menz documented another impossible phenomenon when he attempted to collect soil samples from the mysterious clearings. His instruments registered the presence of elements that shouldn't exist in nature, including isotopes with atomic structures that contradicted established physics. The samples themselves began to glow with soft golden light when exposed to direct sunlight, as if they were somehow concentrating and amplifying solar radiation. The electromagnetic disturbances grew stronger with each passing day, eventually interfering with all electronic equipment within a 2-kilometer radius of the camp. Satellite phones failed to establish connections. GPS devices provided impossible coordinates. On April 2nd, the team made a discovery that fundamentally altered their understanding of the case. Hidden beneath layers of fallen leaves and debris, they uncovered a stone platform covered in hieroglyphic inscriptions that appeared to be far older than any known Tupi artifacts. The platform's surface was perfectly smooth obsidian, polished to mirror brightness, yet it remained cool to the touch even under the blazing afternoon sun. The inscriptions told a story that challenged conventional archaeological timelines. According to Paulo's translations, they described contact between the Tupi ancestors and beings of pure solar energy who had walked among humans during a time when the sun burned with different fire. These entities, led by Guaracy himself, had supposedly imparted knowledge of agriculture, astronomy, and medicine before retreating to the heavens. More disturbing was the platform's apparent function as some form of communication device. When exposed to direct sunlight, the obsidian surface began displaying moving images that seemed to show events from the distant past. The team watched in stunned silence as the stone revealed scenes of towering, luminous beings interacting with primitive humans, sharing knowledge that would take European civilization centuries to develop. Dr. Carvalho attempted to document these visions, but her cameras malfunctioned whenever she pointed them at the platform. The only evidence of the phenomenon existed in the form of audio recordings that captured the team's amazed reactions to scenes that apparently remained invisible to electronic sensors. The investigation reached its climax when the obsidian platform began responding to human presence in dramatic ways. The stone surface grew warm to the touch, then hot enough to cause pain, while the surrounding air shimmered with heat distortion that made observation difficult. The hieroglyphic inscriptions began to glow with the same golden light they had observed in the soil sample. Paulo Zingu fled the camp that evening, leaving behind only a hastily scrawled note warning that Guaracy's awakening would bring either enlightenment or destruction to those who witnessed. His departure marked the beginning of a series of events that would force the research team to question everything they thought they knew about reality itself. The final documented incident occurred just before dawn on April 5th, when Dr. Carvalho's equipment registered a massive electromagnetic pulse that temporarily disabled all electronic devices within 50 kilometers. When the systems came back online, they discovered that the obsidian platform had vanished completely, leaving behind only a perfectly circular patch of crystallized sand that sparkled like crushed diamonds in the morning light. The Brazilian Institute for Archaeological Research classified the team's findings as inconclusive and sealed all related documents under national security protocols. Dr. Carvalho's subsequent attempts to return to the site were denied, and satellite imagery of the area now shows only unbroken forest canopy where the research station once stood. The Tupi communities in the region have since refused all contact with outside researchers, claiming that Guaracy's displeasure with the intrusion has made the forest dangerous for those who do not understand the old ways. Local authorities report that the electromagnetic disturbances continue to this day, making navigation through the area virtually impossible for aircraft and rendering all electronic equipment unreliable. Perhaps most unsettling is the discovery that similar stone platforms have been reported at archaeological sites throughout South America, each one associated with solar deities from different indigenous cultures. The implications suggest a coordinated presence that transcends individual civilizations, shaped human development across vast geographical and temporal scales. The case remains officially unsolved, with all physical evidence either destroyed or classified beyond public access. The research team's final report, heavily redacted, concludes only that they encountered phenomena that cannot be explained within current scientific paradigms. Their recommendation that the site be declared permanently off-limits has been quietly implemented without public announcement. What do you think really happened when Dr. Carvalho's team uncovered that obsidian platform in the Amazon? Subscribe to explore more cases where ancient warnings prove terrifyingly accurate.